Nigeria for especially etiyema emu ha no wo share embra say omu entum free wo mani mu nko within 2 weeks.
Wow.
Ya pam won ye wi a won wajapade nyina.
Wow.
Oh yes, Admiral Amedome. Your friend is somewhere free vote ho kita na awo mafia onye popro e ka kire ne sa wo kwa ebeku what's dabi body by na maye a mekwa obi betimi ekumi no aba bedru nkran no watumi aka kire ne say the reason why our friend ne say wo mu aye ba beku ho na kanfo na dɔɔso e wasinim nti kokunkuma kanfo na kanfo no sɔre de civil war beba na kokum obi papa for tribal balance kana ye bone ankase miensa e wo nyankopɔn ani so nti e ka say why na man ye one day na eguanfo no Mahama na hu ni so esrem ni sabi o technical onye esrem ni o
abudancha o me ba to lawyer Anokye kasa na on nkasa ye in relation to two topics via I find it interesting say metimi e dia ma o now ni nani lawyer Anokye chemu a woni say the recent xenophobia attacks ahodo e koso a South Africa omukra de ase ya ye dada afibia ade e wo ma na aba na ekɔ no lawyer Anokye chemu a Ghana for a South Africa musu amu ha na ye kekem na South Africa for di wu na mmefa ye ya tese ye di kukukuku ya kofa plane ya kwotwe ye domaba ya amanfo granting interviews ye de wo ma fam ni ade no me ba to lawyer Anokye chemu a Ghana for musu cry victims because Ghana is the first country in the entire African continent ye xenophobia the South Africa for ye say obi ankonu krom foreigners enkonu krom no lawyer Anokye chemu a Ghana for ene shares agro na se yen ene shares ye di Nigeria for na buso wako details ye bey omampani bey ene na ete so den ye edit ya Nigeria for ene Nigeria for nso be retaliate ye in fact interesting watch chemu a Nigeria for retaliation no kra ne de eyade bi ene ekwotre guy the catalyst which is time one Dr. Hilary Man Rollins etimi etu no during a coup no eno na ekwotre guy Nigeria for nso a omutimi sake Ghana for the Ghana must go a trend no or say ho na de buy in fact wacheche man I find it very educative interesting and very historic ebuze say yetimi esua ye bekọ no ho now ye free wa the second thing lawyer Anokye the historian or also can say the controversial issue any the bigger question most times you can Ghana history any the formation of the new Ghana ya na ye can any ade which is a handful any only Ghana which tribe which people the indigenous people are only Ghana as technically no me ba to lawyer Anokye chemu a enya kanfo enya asante enya kanfo ebi mo ha no nyame na aboa na aso mte branding ena benya ni bie enim technology ni PR eno ma be gain popularity abeyo mu majority but ye ka dia the true Ghanaian only Ghana asase Guans the more people any some part of eastern and western region side where baby and patro lawyer Anokye can say bibiri now in fact all dig deep in the crown be kire say who him say President Mahama according to lawyer Anokye chemu a say we trace na ancestral route when you purely nord now me ba to ni nyina no lawyer Anokye etimi cheche ase na me ncha ho yenko ni entie lawyer Anokye the historian on two things the xenophobia in South Africa how a Ghana for ase and why he feels say Ghana for say they use too much and we chema ya pra na ye di nyameka ya ye bone ya tese ese etimi pa ho ache o den time de ye editi a mindful bi nti na e bibie ya on here they so much of a big deal ewum ebusa yentie lawyer Anokye Frimpong the historian
say South Africa was almost reset wo mo man no mi a wo mbe friend omonko abakosemu so omonko abakosemu anka ombe hu so omo man once say wode wonsa aka ahoho no until you do a real spiritual healing no o mind to me say anye papa biemu da
but you see be mama
me say once say wode wonsa ebeka ahoho etisa wode wonsa wo Nyankopɔn ani kosua se wamra wase amunumunu ho manyankopɔn amfa wo bone amfa anche wo a oman ne nye papa biemu da if you say what kind the book of Amos I think chapter 1 verse 6 what they call when Nyankopɔn come for 3 transgressions of Gaza for 3 transgressions of Assyria Syria Ammon and then even Israel na ni nyina ne ye dia ben ni nyina ye ahoho a womo eha won na the moment a wo be ha hoho no eye bone kase papa nyame ka say for 3 transgressions or maybe no the legal limit of sin of transgression eye miensa etra miensa o man wo ye hu bibia enye Ghana ye bone ankase miensa ewo Nyankopon ani so the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah.
Wow.
The expulsion of the Nigerians from Ghana, and then the execution of General Agyapong and his followers. Say Sanwoma miensa we Ghana prophets remember mobo bi edi wa hanam nim say omu nyina etie me. So omu enyai World Cup Ghana ye bedri ha na country we na beje. MPP ni NDC we na be wuri we bre no mu anwene o man ni nyina ho a o man no me ka kire ye bekwa akwaji sika $1 billion every day o man no entumi en reset da
na che say ya bone atie
nyame 3 transgressions no the legal limit na ya 3 no ya miensa ni nyina enti fe na me ba yi wasem no ano.
Nice one.
The year 1969 I think January one yes towards the end of 69 one and the Professor K. Buzia edisi akonwa so omo etu Nkrumah no tu no 1966 omo di almost 3 years wo akonwa so na ya handi over the ma oman no ya handi over the ma Professor K. Buzia no and ohunu say Nkrumah nye obi akọ IMF ankwa nkwaji sika Kwame Nkrumah so pan-Africanist into oma bibifo nyina begu oman wese mu a wo mu ye adwuma Ghana for so tumi tu kwan ekọ wiase baabia eno echi no enam se Ghana ne Nigeria Gambia Sierra Leone ne ye nyina ye Britain for colonies no British West Africa enti sa aman for we na obi atumi tu kwan ekọ ne yonko mamu ekokodi akotena ho ye adwuma tesane a wote wa wukurom enti ye wodi ankase bi te sa wote sa hare so ya kilapa so ya mo wan kislihe for the din bebre a omo asefo kislihe for the Africana so ya ne from Nigeria from Sierra Leone so many of these people from other countries ebabegu ha adwuma wote famous judge bidin Akewumi we Nigeria ni obabetena Ghana Hana family no ayete say Ghana for sana Professor K. Buzia ebabeto ye simply because British West Africa no na ebom baako etese o man baako na ne entira Sierra Leone for bebre ba ha no Furabe College the only university done in West Africa na obakwa ba wie no wunya adwuma o Sierra Leone na ese wo ba Ghana afei Nigerians so free tetete ahonyoda nti no man we mu na fertile ema obiara ebabi
okay
nti at the time Professor K. Buzia babedi ade no na amanfrafo bebre ewo hatitiriw Nigeria for ewo man we say mu now Buzia was the number 1 enemy to Nkrumah nti ade Nkrumah ye bia na adwene say o say no ana o sakre mu the first one the whole of Africa akabom say ye fight apartheid South Africa Buzia be ye prime minister no or say dialogue Ghana and South Africa be ye one and it was a big frustration at the international level because Ghana there ye nearly the African unity ni bibia Nkrumah free one now by was South Africa for be ye nuanom that means Mandela mo a wo mu dem ani ayi nyina emfa Professor Buzia ho ade ba ko afei okokọ ye how wo man ni nyina o devalue Ghana cedi no to the extent to say cedi ni be ye say paper bi ewo international level nya no nko factories Nkrumah bi enani nye ho ase close one down workers are adwuma say ye pam won ye obibi de Apollo 568 wo mu a top managers 568 very good Buzia pam wo mu nyina case ni kodru court was on for Supreme Court asem enye adwuma na the worst of all ubedi akonwa no enibo so miensa ena Nigeria for especially etiyema emu ha no wo hye emra se omu entum free wo man mu nko within 2 weeks.
Wow.
Na ma menka say me fan kire say Nigeria fo na ete Ghana no.
As at that time no.
As at that time no. Na omu nte say na Ghana fo na ewo Nigeria in the 80s no a ye pam wo no. Ma menka the difference no.
Okay.
And it's a Nigeria for na ete Ghana at that time. No more better from colonial time. Nti na omu ti wo man mu te se omu ye Ghana for. Nti apam omu a omu koni nyina no. Se no free tamale na ekwa okada gomba ne hausa dada. Ofri nkran na ekwa oka nkran. Wo free afa ne se takra de ana kepko so ka emfanti ofri kumasi okatwi. Emma omu produce nkrofo omu be ye Ghanaian citizens a hwe obi ti say Alhaji Gbedemosi obeye headmaster Tamal Secondary School at RTU. Hwe obi ti say Sule Shitu, one of the finest Ghanaian boxers. Hwe obi ti say Mudalawa, Black Star defender. Ben Kayede, Dan Kayede, Olympics. Say what they want me to na usa.
Oh yeah.
Me kura na usa na. Don't bobo pa.
I mean by cry.
And no mukuta Nigeria name, but they were Ghanaians. Africa's best player, 11th African Cup of Nations. Your friend say, Golden Boy Abdul Razak.
Yeah.
We know munya Ghana for that. But so, parents or grandparents are better now. And the buzi I say, omomu 2 weeks omunko. Those people were not laborers. Omu ye land owners. Omu ye landlords. And what he did was that yetu Nkrumah no ye opponent to Kwame Nkrumah. Na Crawford ni susu Kwame Nkrumah. Nkrumah ye Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Where ye Dr. K. Buzia. Osan Chiradio University went through the highest level. Our ye professor. Na so ye bibi o kire say Osene Kwame Nkrumah. Ni osaje fo aye no. Wan to so ye so say no kra. Nti ne de ne say wo pamo a letter fo nyina de afiri wo memu. Na wa magana fo ani age adentira. One business is a kuta one semini now the Bema Ghana for just to please the people of Ghana.
Me ba that time no na Ghana for complaining about Bibiana.
Me da se pa near complaining about a juma because wababe devalue sidino. Emma ukra no ma we dey bibia say devaluation. What I say inflation kasia I am inflation aba ntina frustration aba o manimu. Number 2, factories and koma biye no, that's what I started saying. Now we close bebre down. Amanfo enya adwuma enye. Enti ne de ne say wo mo na ye business wo Ghana no. Business nkwane ade a wan ko school a wutumi ye be straight away. Enti I saw gi won business ni free won sem. Na say amanfo ATM ya maminka se bi fa nkyero. Na Ghana fo anim store ye o. Oh yes kwafo de ye de didwa. Kwafo ye store mesrewa Nigeria for na be kire Ghana for. Ni enim ade friend store and let me emphasize it. Ni enim and won be bia ye enka ye culture ho. Ghana culture no and no ne say te say abofo adwa Thursday Ghana for ye nyina be hia wo di ni dwa no de ko. Watoni body watoni kwadu watoni nam watoni say ni ono so de body ba watonton wi a watoni nchene watoni nam watoni ntoma no kwani baby another week na wasan aba agura kwantedwa techimandwa tamaledwa asesewa what you say ye de na ye jada no man be san 1 week na asan aba na pass ye bie stores no eye Nigerians na betena ha bie stores enti Nigeria fo no omunu be copy abrofo ne say Ghana ni onim store na de ban. And you have to say the truth.
Wow.
Ghana ni nim store de ban no. Na broni ne de na ya GB Oliver ni US ni UTC money ade and later Kwame Nkrumah de GNTC e bae. Ye de ne say okwa okoto ade ne bulk. Enti se matches a on se matches ni a rubber ne fam ho no e kase pa bi a matches be 10 or 20 pieces in a room e cigarette the free embassy Tasker Gaba Kings 55 ye wo fa no so ma me yakoto bi ba box ni nyina na hye mako 20 nti ukoto bre wo fa na wo papa otia no so what I say whiskey or bottle esi ho what I say and Nigeria fo no ho trick bi say weye ade a Ghana for no ko wura store no mu eto efiri aborofo no ho yenim store adeban nti Nigeria for no bie won stores nti cigarette na me se ehye mu 20 no wankɔ broni no wana wobewura Nigerian store no a ɔno ne de no wate 20 na no nti wo ba otumi yi cigarette stick ba ko pɛ
any FN retailing no
ɛno ne yɛfɛ na lata dwa ɛno ne yɛfɛ na lata edwa enti sɛnkyene a ade na hyɛm na broni wakɔva ne kama ho fɛfɛɛfɛ alata ni wayi na ɔde konko ɛde ato so ba
ɛna ɔsa
konko mu dia mo matches ya wate matches na no to betuma yi matches ba ko matches adaka no ketwa ba ko nya adaka kase na chemba 20 no the amount wo mu na ye alata dwa ɛna wo mu nya sika sisi adanka siankase Accra New Town malokwamo ukọ baabi te say takrade e baabi de Lagos Town ukọ takwa ye walata castle wo Astoria night club ho na me call school elementary school what you say enti Nigerians na etia no mo te won wan say eye odefo the next one farming no mo ya omo nti say Ghana yan yeta ye afuo bi a 4-5 acres wose waye ade Nigeria ni be do be 100 acres because womo man no so womo ye bibi womo ye na ankase enti sa ade we ya Nigeria for ye womo te won ase no ana buzi ama won 2 weeks hwe obi okuta dan bi a 10 won krana kumase obi oye landlord wo Accra ne ma ekɔ school omu nyina ye te se Ghana for ye aben adwuma no wa classify won say omu nya Ghana for biom obia entu enko na me mamu 2 weeks what will happen enti nokora pa wom say ye kan ye sakra firi ho na nya say ye niwu ene say ye pam won ye wi a won wajapade nyina
wow
oh yes ye pamo won and ye wi a won wajapade nyina just to please the people of Ghana ni on pesa wo ba wi na japade no a dying to say sir peace FM dying we ya esia na sanka ne boy $20 million Nigeria ni so ton 100,000 Ghana cedis send ye bo biti sa 2 weeks no anya sa ye beche no e de na to wapamu nipa no awie a okọ look at what we did to them when we say me fa book mfa nko station bia for the avoidance of doubt because to the bia wo kasa na obi na no ko kasa obi bia papa bi me mpese mo boni di na no I proud me ka ye fa ni say sergeant Ajete kwan nkroma mo fa so nkroma twere letter eno ne petition no mdi kwa wo de obegina ba bi ka say mimi ni me hwe eno ehu abufuo nti ana me be read we de akere me pa cho tie book ya me ba be read book ni de General Agyapong the life and times of Ghana's head of state author no bafo agimandua obi enim so ye professor kase ewo oman wesemu me pa cho page 52 hwane author no professor no hwasama oka Professor Buzia Alliance Compliance Order no me pa cho hwane eyi kan ho asem Professor Bafo Agimandua kan ho asem ha o say the Alliance Compliance Order which restricted non-Ghanaians from engaging in the retail and agricultural sectors was the other immediate measure that had ramifications for the Buzia administration. The act did not only restrict but also ordered those already in those sectors to leave the country. Nationals from West African sub-region, particularly Nigerians, were most affected. Apparently, the government believed that Ghanaians would be empowered economically by handing to them these huge and lucrative sectors of the economy. What do you say? Mami, repeat it.
Repeat it.
The government believed that Ghanaians will be empowered economically by handing to them these huge and lucrative sectors of the economy.
But you're breaking it down. So
Mami, to us, we can be or say to facilitate and supervise the final departure of these aliens. He called them aliens.
Yes.
A number of military officers were deployed at the country's main exit points. Ignatius Kutwe Champong was among the officers sent to the Ghana-Togo border crossing at Aflao. The area was flooded with thousands of swaddling men, women, and children packed on top of their belongings in open mammy trucks. They were spending days to be processed to be processed before crossing the border. So, obi a wo pamun wo. Wo say yansan processing no ansa na why then. What me across the border and patcho mama to aso. The uncontrolled influx soon turned Aflawo into a chaotic sea of bewildered deportees, languishing in repulsive, insanitary conditions. Anytime a champion went back home, obi o wadwiro nimi nyansan wa bade anyame na ebo no a champion hwew so je ne so onkwahwe no mmoro nkrofo na ompam won no. Look at the feeling of General Champion. Anytime a champion went back home to his family on short breaks, he complained bitterly and at times almost in tears about the horrible conditions of the so-called aliens he had to deal with. What hurt him most was to see pregnant women who could hardly contain their conditions and yet had to struggle to go through the process. He could not understand how one African government could treat fellow Africans as if they were animals. He complained to the Minister of Defense about the inhuman treatment meted out particularly to women and children and was rebuked for not behaving like a soldier.
Wow. Now I say when you bosire mu kan ya twerɛ ho book. But your mama book no title ni wiem. For those who
General Agyapong, the life and times of Ghana's head of state.
Wow.
Enti kwaya ye fa so aye yi Nigeria for ni ana me say me kan ni sort ye wi a wo mo japade nyina because so bi japade e $10 million na wo de ehye bi de ato no so mfiri o man ni mu nko
in 2 weeks
no on to men so am fan ko no ton ma 10 cedis say won say wabo no kro no pa e bi so ho mu ja hokwa and when they were living say wo ye phone calls and company for no I chair me ne be ka kire I was 5 years then. And when they were living, Titam wa ye pam wo mu no mu kono mu stores no na madam fu bi obefrɛ me ne ye kɔ na milk I was so mo na ye kɔ boba no ne ye no ko wiawia milk na ye no I was 5 years. I was born in 64 69 me hu pass ye kɔ papa lo fa ne store e wo nsaem ne ye kɔ wiawia milk kraketwa ye nim ne ye. Now when they were living they were cursing the country. They were cursing Ghana say ye nye ye da because mama kan ensi subiem say they were not living here like that is yes omu free as omu ya letter for no more be part of our society.
Yes.
And now omu na kire ye dwadie nti Nigeria for 2 won wase no ene ye nya nkrofo bi te say kwawuo eba be share ho na ye nti na aban na adwene ye won say wabedi no eso ye bibi di please o man because wo hu say sa mamuo no nkroma respect onya ni hey ya ni show boy ni ade no ono so pebi na wo pebi obi na ukoko wia no until that was the first xenophobic attack in West Africa.
Wow.
Now let me tell you the repercussions. Emma is shocking the whole African continent because Ghana ne omaya eye OAU ana AU ni kwafare bai ni yaka Pan-Africanism yaka African unity nti eye den na 1963 wo maye di OAU ADC was a before you know come on back 64 65 66 67 68 69 just 6 years after that we say bibini bi oti woman no anya dey onko so our man enough time 2 weeks ni so was the soldiers akogu border now no say obi a woko bia no yensam process no ansa no wako enti ase ne say
ye process den
say you who say we a foreigner. I don't know the wisdom behind it. Now eyewitnesses me dey na me 5 na penny for say so many Nigerians ma Ayisha because I say we two American soldier for the wait. Now whole colonel oye in charge oba no oba besu no say treating human beings as animals. Indigenous mo ye cool the two general the two Professor K.A. Buzia. Na say who say na ya ya nti eba ne sa no the whole West African countries ni na ebufu Ghana si epam obia na Nigeria for na edoso nti no mu din ba beda so nti West African countries ni nyina ne Ghana eye aka nti one of the factors ema ECOWAS by na no Agyapong 2 Buzia 1972 na eye say or try say obema West African countries ni nyina etumi assign akambom aye ba ko ne de Ghana for bone acheye ena okoko hu Nigerian head of state General Yakubu Gowon na nipa mienu tenase na ono di Ghana for Ghanaian head of state enim not try say Ivory Coast for Burkina Faso, Togo, Benin, Mauritania, Niger, Mali, one omu nyina de Ghana bo ne becha ni asaye baako, and eventually they felt to say yemfa de bi face wa eba bo West Africa ho ban na omampani bi antumi ansore anya ne Ghana aye ni biem, and no the formation on May 28, 1975
African Union
of the Economic Community of West Africa States. ECOWAS. No. Until the first xenophobic attack, which was worse than South Africa, worse than anything you can imagine. No.
Hey, now where do you papa womunchire school mo?
Say enunti na me so me boma me ho abaso kakra ne say me ba your system ni mu no ma metwen adi piepie ebi ne sa no mai so Ghana for no ma ya catch sweeping everything under the carpet ya boni ankase me ansa pa etia onyankopon anytime bia wo be time foreigner no na say won say wo time nyankopon because wo kum no ma me no papa ni wo no ma kan bia ma no
na is a papa the echo so South Africa ne ya omuluti omura man for shops no ebia Ghana da
yes ebia se yen ne ekofa bae
wow
enti mentumi ka say yen ekofa bae no eyade eso mu ye bi na nka so mu sua se ye kofa bae no ye man ne ye papa biem ebesi enne na Professor Buzia no de bae no ending of 69 and no de ebae o November nti ye kan say January 1970, 71, another January 72, and your two naban eguye. And the free ones were mining your papa beam to no coffee ban or no di Kenya and one searching. And then your toss to be a money or mine. Now we can talk about the Nigerian one.
Wow. Hey. Abako se we dem say Ghana ni bia otibia ne ho adwiri no. Because these are things they don't tell us. Because omunim say nya de papa nti no de ahye carpet na se
ade anya de papa no menua wo kama obiate na maya nkwankoye bi won say asori obi kobo adwaman obi koye nyinsan a onni kuna na onware wo ba no a wonim say asori fo mfansi o yetu nipa ne ma obejira nipa anim I say church board aka wasem awie ye hu sampa woni obi akwanyema nipa no o meware ho nti ase ye tu eno nche se ye gu ani mu ase ye such that obia enye biem nti ade a enye papa no ye mfansie ye kan ama obia etibi no man no head of state foforo bi ama so no so ba be ye bi
wow nti papa mami mbusa o nti ekoba se ye pam Nigeria for no komu krom no retaliation be no mo so de my back
ye pam won kwa won krom no ancha na nyame di Nhyira kase bi de ma won the oil boom. Nigeria discovered oil. Emebeye one of the world's leading producers of oil. Emesika ba homa. Ejitewu. Intina se Ghana ni biara ebo ne ketem. So no so beko Nigeria. And the difference between Ghana for and now Nigeria, any Nigeria for now Ghana ni say, ya in obia no was me family ekoi. So be the year quiet was extremely insignificant and 1%. Ya the ene say, ya who say Nigerian naira no. Oh na as I was saying dollar no. Kra ana edru brebi kra na esa was so say pound. Eba from na ne pound no be 1:1. Nti Ghana for na yansa mu no. Itumi kwaye adwuma no a na yasesa into dollar ne pound outside the country be a foreign account. At a certain level, natural to me for Nigeria, call Europe and now US easily. And he said, "O big crowd Nigeria now US and now Britain." Nti India ya kwaye wala tu warasa ya kwaye si Ekosiisen adan Ghana ni bia no obetumi de nsa e de asi ne bo se na Nigeria for around shops ewa ha mu adan kase a wokọ Accra New Town properties ewa wo nyina ye one day ye pam wo mu ne ewie ne saa no mani nyina no wo mu no Ghana for wo no bia ni property bia e kwaye wala tu warasa ne nya yesika na ya ba saa na students vacation Ghana ni bako akoye adwuma 1 month obebokuta provisions bebre no de aba phone in wo hanka nkofo bedi ho adanse
ya baby
na ye yes hadie we to aso no anche ana oil prices no fall heavily and Nigeria sha say enya problem te say na Ghana so enya problem ni nyina mu no already other sources one source no and said the economic shock and Nigeria nya na mo pam if any say foreigners in reality no more so tell for two reasons. The first reason was that the Nigerian president then Alhaji Shehu Shagari na the best friend pa and Dr. Hila Liman Ghana Third Republic president no na Dr. Hila Liman ni na downfall ene your friend is Shagari ana Rollins betu your friend is Shagari Liman abenguye anye Shagari de nti oye na dwen so be punish Rollins pa oye na dwen so be punish Rollins yes says what to abai na good there then is good it shows say o man na enya papa nti waba ne de o man ye papa je won krofo na fa wo eko nti wono nso ye the same order no say ahowo bi e wo ho no onsan na chinko ne kurum na de ma eho da ho me hu say enya economic reasons na ye tit for tat na so no so ma in 2 weeks so omu edu emra no musu di echi buyen na the difference no ene say woman ne de once say wo betena ka mu wo kwa wo baabi no wodi wani ahwe Ghana kwan so no obi amfa
checks bia ni ba na say wo kwa baabi
no mu manufacture bags bia fa ne Ghana must go say Ghana ni ba kwato bi na pack no magum nti afie wura no ono de afie wura nti say Nigeria ni no ha no ye fie wura ye gi ni fie no we de Ghana ni na ye tenant ne amount Ghana must go load no ma na pe baby
Ghana must go
ene edin no eba beka so na yen ya de na awere hosem no ene say enam say Rollins hu say Shagari na apam Ghana fo no so mu emra no wa dwen say Nigerian soldiers de wo ho ahyehyem amba be yeku atu na ban no egu enti there was close to 2 million Nigerians Ghanaians no more do border no so na Ghana government so omie border ne da the citizens ni be wu a wo mu
security threat
what you say na ya na Ghana for ya be wo we go for president Wallace ya be dwene ho menti ase o be dwene ho menti ase o hwe na o man pani tua se ne man emma ewu ehye so mu ya santifuo mu ya befuo so mu ya konkomba na numba de gomba se fionze mo wasa hantem fa no ho odwen the government no ho nti nipa wu ho pa ne nya de ketwa ansana onoara e de ship no de Ghana fo no the same screening no processing no busy at time Ghana for the DBA Nigeria this time the ya ko process ya nkrofo say na be Nigeria for mfrefre nti that delay and stampede nipa ewu ya nya de ketwa and they caused by ourselves our government
wow
nia eto de buy no na sania America no and say Mahatma Gandhi the one who fought for the independence of India can say be the pa or say having read the entire Bible I came to the understanding that an eye for an eye will make the world go blind. Enti so be aya uboni no nche say ye bitu anika. What you say? Enti ne na nanom ka say so be afum kuma yemfom enwa. What you say? Obi aboa no another person I mistake akoku no. Wo so say my mistake madwa ma ho ne kama me ba bere. You are one second person you are worse than the first one who made a mistake. Enti Nigeria for na ye ne Ghana for aye bi no President Buhari January 1983 na opam Ghana that same year towards the end of the year 31st December 1983 ana ye tu na ban eguye ye Shehu Shagari ana di sa aboni na me pa say Buhari eba betu na ban gu December the same year sani abuzi anso eto no and I me patch says physical things no yes and spiritually no ya kan wo trust mu when bu na me person ka your prophets no emphasizes no many be
papa
nti free one so Nigeria so enye papa da ene ye mienu ye te hana
me ba hokra but onumusuo ma me na membebusa follow up questions kakra abusia sa fe no join ya ahaye okay 101.7 ye ne Dr. Yaw Anokye Frimpong Esquire we lawyer and osan historian hintasema papa yi edana di kire ne no in fact yente enyansem a wo mo pese yete mponti no om de ahyefom om me yente but enani yete enoma na siye ntina ohia Nigeria ne Ghana ne yabete center for say o
say no na say yin de ti pempem na the right thing is Nigeria ye no omunye they need national repentance and na Ghana for so hia national repentance na Ghana de an me kan sem bi de kire o me say ya yebone ankase miensa emu baako ene Nigeria de no a ye no ye say ye ade bi anyankopon de ye bone ebeche oh that say nyame o say me man eye den wa ye bone atuatua na say oda no ho esakra na wosu efreme a me nyankopon me de me man no fom so be den ebeche
ya manu ntina president Mahama de national thanksgiving ya bayana
mpacho national thanksgiving wo eti se wakọ asori na okọ akotua sika na wo sika wo nyina watua edi amanyame ene yem friend the title na wo sha that to din say 1/10 of my income na me de ko manyame a eno ne friend the title enti mira so say esi e fa asofo ankese ne ye sha that to din say the 1966 overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah what you say hwe obi obeka se Kwame Nkrumah enye dibonye ni te se me ne wo no na nipa no waye boni ati anyame efi se ohene Solomon wo si temple no wo se obi biara obeba sa asori fie ha no de ne boni ba beto wani no fa ne boni cha ne efi se nipa bia ni wo se wonye boni da Nkrumah ye dibonye ni te se me ne wo na mom se nipa no a wo adwene se in the 1960s early 1960s nuclear weapons ya Iran pese omu yebi edin tokwa kase aba yesi Saddam Hussein pese o yebi edin tokwa kase aba nam so a wodi ewuye na papa wedi o yebi free ewo kwabenya edi amount in the 60s na nuclear friend atomic ntina na ewo kwabenya atomic no obi a amount Mahabo and the whole township Akosombo township Akosombo dam bibi obediri mu bia na oye de amount tam oye eyi no Akrate Mamoto road mpacho na bi ni Africa ha o na bi ni Africa na European countries wo bi no Britain na Germany ana no mu oba ni Holland no bi ani bi wo ho Akrate Mamoto road no na so je independence no so or build a country that will be comparable to any first world country in the world inti tamu a wo wi no Hofua Boanya say if Nkrumah made mistakes it was because he wanted to do better than the rest of us and Kenneth Kaunda say Africa can never overcome the 1966 coup of Ghana. And your friend is saying, Mugabe, also say, go and ask President Akuffo, he will tell you, Ghana stopped growing in the 60s. Wow. Akuffo and to me and Yano. Or can Parliament at the chair, your friend say, Zimbabwe opposition leader be no person of the Ghana church Zimbabwe and Puano. So what do you mean? When him time Ghana stop growing. Wow. What you see? And to send the power say no. Utuna bengu egu nenimu asia na spiritually so nya na meka dafo from meka your baby or the soul kwakwa share ya provided say ade a oje no enya ne dia no de ba be ye ni ma ye nko ade a wo de be ma no nti want me enwie no asunsun sanso no it is the country that pays for and dem hu sasofo bebre kura hunu aka wa na ehunu o ma ese ye na nyame eyisa eyakwanua no free fanse kwanua no free yekom no yenye ena
wow and why say our elders must really tell us the truth as Ghanaians so the younger generation can make amends. This life is spiritual and we really reap what we sow.
Mame fanto aso kanchira abrante no wasando sai no I know say sa boni ne yedi in 1966 against Kwame Nkrumah no ye wie no ma de obioma ye san eye the year 1979 ana Flight Lieutenant Rollins eye ku etu Akuffo aban tu aban no ana moja onifo we President Nkrumah free had the best head of state ever eye General Agyapong I mean obia enim ne toso me ensa ye Mahama umu aka ne de me hu ne obia ba be ye and it's a fact what you say na Mahama wan ye hwe kura hwe Kotoka International Airport Accra International Airport
Sarkodie kura
oh Jesus na what wo bia obedru Accra International Airport no hu say abrofo ne de ne biti ase hu nipa fita bebre wo ho ne de no ba hu nipa tum wo ho na UGM so the University of Ghana Medical Center MC no ha
Sarkodie
and Sarkodie utumu say waye bi so bia ba Rollins 19 years and otumi ye we mu bia nke wo sa no man 19 eho region bia aha nti ye kasa anya say ye pa obi sini bi ne ye hunu ene ye di ho
mama chi betimi de kofo aba
Mamachi ubetume de Kufuor aba ubetume de part ya asomdwe yin no ne ata mills mo bisa na ne me pachira ne se ukokofa General Agyapong a wono besisi dams da wanya irrigation any your friend is any time operation feed yourself nkroma time kura Ghana ntumi a export to aduane Agyapong to me export to aduane magana nya sika ma Agyapong anko IMF amo men wo toya in Bible beka say each man under his fig tree na papa we utumi kofa na wa bonutuo ukun for no apparent reason ukun no kan follower back on General Ituka ikumu won wie na university students of Ghana those days see na 8 year na instead they say mobile demonstration na mokuta placards ya trust say stop the bloodshed rather placards ekura wo mu yina ya trust say let the blood flow let the blood flow until flat lieutenant Rollins said there our Bible mu Herod okokum nyame nipa bi Israel for no budget no so he proceeded to do worse enti Rollins said there aton safre champo chidifo ni bi budget ndifo hwe no maybe papa we fairly no do 40 years your time no foreign affairs commissioner young guy of Navrongo na your friend say Omra na northerners opinion leaders ni be say we must say champion ye kumno okwa ye bekun what's there be me mind na me some no me nye boni biara nti me nyi ni so bi ebekume Admiral Amedome your friend is Omra ofri voter ho kita na awo mafia onye popro eka kire ne sa wokwa ebeku what's there be bani bai na maye mekwa obi betimi ekumi no aba bedru nkran no watumi aka kire ne say the reason why our friend ne say wo mu aye ba beku on akanfo na doso ewasinim ndi kokunkum akanfo na akanfo no sori the civil war beba na kokum obi papa for tribal balance
for no reason no
masa menya ibweni o but do you think say me papa nka be me de oye obi kunu na no won so fe Amedome no me won bi da ewo wi ase wo wi afon ni ye beka kire ho Amedome wa gene glasses navy commander ya time primary school no commissioners ni na omo pictures bobo ho nti ni enim wo mu nyina nto kasa menlist wo mu nyina meye ana kote Evans Masha ya boache your friend say General Akuffo na safuei ukunkum wo mu nyina wo mu nye boni biara wasase we say so omunye boni bia enti samoja hwie go nsa mamo afrifadin frifade no deserve ono ani wo ono no nye champion followers ni bi ono no otu nkroma aban eguye no woni made bi o ya announcement say obi obohu ne nzemani bia onku no eno no nzemafo watu omo papa aban egu omo no munye the next thing I say ukọ nkroma krom preparatory school bi e wo ho eya nyane ba preparatory school o se kwa ame nkroma si school bi e tesa achimota e wo ho woni mi say school eya national asset no o me yabubu ni nyina egu for medija to
just because
esi nkroma krom ana workers were inside na man back 2 years ago free US Professor Kenya Beka ho asem o se free ho no omo ana omo wa around no obi antumi mfa meeting kan na no da adentira tama nipa wom na nipa no ehye no your friend say smell na e ba no ha etise wototo pepe nti waso no nam fofo nyina besi nde e champ Akuffo Afrifa na yes order no si yenkonko na mmom wo wie ne de wo said the same Ghana sika no yese wo bubu wo krom krobo dan ni nyina na wo si no estate wo se nkromasi preparatory school wo no krom wo de wo ja Kumasi ho ye second capital of the country nipa pressure wo city no so ye hia dan wo ja nkran ne tamane second takwa de bubu wo krom dan nyina na woni din ode man no wo se model village na we na be Ghana for ahwe so na build all villages to be like Krobo. We say we ya Ghana Rolls-Royce ba ko pa Queen Elizabeth ba Ghana nkroma edi koko hia no adenti na nsi kwa nkroma mausoleum say Ghana for yempa disua e ya free fana owi ade koye yes owi ade koye a eni hu account wo we asemu ba bia say head of state wo kon wo de kwanya obi anso na ede ema no na menya nu na hia me Rolls-Royce no eye ade anipa de ne sa ye da bia depreciate na ne hia me is the spiritual factor say wo no ni wu a wo wi ni de ende no wafom obi a ntina obi a handi over 69 ye kum nipa 79 ye be fa wo de wo ka ho kokum na moja nso aye ne nsa ho ma wo kan se ye nkum nsamafo yina wo san so General Bawa Army Commander ukwato na ne yire ne ma anim wo fire no ma papa no wu wo ni moja mu wo ne ma anim ede na yekum nipa 79 ni kuromfo dagombafo enhwe ma yemfa wo nka ho enkum obi na mom innocent people like Agyapong like Akuffo like Yabuache what you see utuka feli kote safo we amedome na ukum wo mu a na make us for 3 transgressions of this country. The first one was the overthrow of Nkrumah. The second one, alliance compliance order, the way we treated our own brothers, Nigerians. And then the third one, and how we killed the champion and his followers. I know one your mind no bunny bia me pacho besin ne bia no beto makacha say general champion dan nie. Ana Akuffo dan nie ana we fie ni ana we na wi o man ni sika de kokotoe o mo besom wo man o frefre wo no munnim so munye bani biara apart from Afrifa ya shada kwachi no woni fie no o mo aka ina ya nkwachi obi a efi so munnim se no munye bani na wo hwie wo mojagu na university students etumi church placards say let the blood flow me pacho. The nation has to cleanse itself spiritually.
Now, face one question be here me paye. Nanka me pese one day hunu the typical indigenous Ghanaian. Yakasu will be a Ghanaian. Why mu na ye Ghana for pa? Ko ye nyan ntia se abakosem kire se ye nyina ye ahoho na ye be pio manim. Na hwanum na chichire Ghana tribal ben na Ghana ye omo dia.
Oh, ye nyina ye dia na omo ye nyina beto wo no. Omo ni Guan fo no. Guan uko Eastern region ukugwa fui latte fo otiase ufa volta nkonya lolobi alavanyo uko nota Mahama krom fo no from Gonja ana woba ya brown fo mo woba central region ewutu senya ehensa fo no breku fo no ne asebu fo omuna yanyina beto wo nti yakasa wine na man ye one day de na egwanfo no no mo yanye ba na yekuta superior technology nti yetumi overpower wo so easily na ye subdue wo na omo abaye nketewa na mo bibia oka gwan kasa te se Mahama kromfo no Mahama na wo ni so esrem ni se bio technical onye srem ni o gonja fo no mo nuanom ne direct ni akwapemfo latefo no ene wunibafo no omo nyina enipa baako safo ne yebeto wo mu ewa ha nti to da bi na ye ka asem ye se ye to sebe kakra
I see
obi nye nipa nsene obi ye nyina ye baako yebeto wo ai